Благодаря ви за поканата. This is my first time in your beautiful country. It's a great honor to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I thought to start this presentation, since I'm talking about the power of meditation, with inviting you to feel your body and sit down and relax, and maybe we share one of the most beautiful things that human beings can share, a moment of peace and silence. Don't forget to breathe. I'm here today to talk to you about the power of meditation. And last year I was filming a documentary about the longest certified ultra marathon lap race in the world, the 3,100 mile self-transcendence race. While filming, I met this very fine Bulgarian gentleman by the name of Baridi. During the race, we had only talked briefly a couple of times, and after a month after the race, I suddenly got a call from this strange foreign number, and to my surprise, it was Baridi. And he said, and listen, I'm not kidding, this is exactly how it happened. He said, "Hey Klaus, it's Baridi, do you remember me? I was invited to give a TED talk about the race, but this morning during my meditation, I had a vision that you should give the talk." And I went like, huh? Are you for real? I had been meditating to speak at the TED conference for years, and with Baridi's vision, here I am. Thank you so much for trusting me with this, brother. The story starts in the fall of 2018 when I bumped into this lean, mean Austrian dude by the name of Ushika. I noticed his deeply tranquil eyes and his saffron robe and some very expensive running shoes. After he told me that he, in fact, is a runner, I, did this typical man thing that I started to impress him. I was like, yeah, I run 10K twice a week, and I run half marathons, and I'm this, and I did that. And listen, if I would have known what is about to hit me, I would have totally kept my mouth shut. After I had finished impressing him, I asked him about his accomplishments. His voice softened as he told me that he had just finished to run a 3,100 mile race in New York last month. And I went, what? Like a 3,100 mile race? That's like 5,000 kilometers. That's roughly 12% of the entire length of the equator. To say the least, I was hooked. The race, as they call it, was founded by the world-renowned Indian mystic Sri Chimoy. And as it turns out, this race of thousands of miles is more of a meditation and a spiritual journey than it is an athletic feat. Now, ladies and gentlemen, look, thanks to my mama, I have been meditating and running since a very young age. And I thought I knew what the regular meditative practice can do for me. But that meditation can lift mind that far over matter, so someone would be able to run 3,100 miles, changed me right there. Lo and behold, that was the year where my understanding of how powerful running and meditation actually can be in our lives radically changed. I learned that this race is a metaphor for how to live more peaceful lives, a roadmap on how to transcend our challenges into victories and eventually become more relaxed and more peaceful human beings. And my friend Ushika was the living proof for that. By spring 2020, the filmmaker in me was even more amazed with Ushika and his whole meditative running community. I wanted to make a documentary. Now, before we roll the camera here, let me set the stage for this 3,100-mile race. You've all probably heard of marathons and ultramarathons ranging roughly between 26 to 62 miles or longer. These distances are already very, very hard and very difficult to conquer. But they are also, if I may, a happy walk in the park compared to this giant of ultra-marathon lap racing in the world today. The 3,100-mile self-transcendence race is the world's longest certified endurance lap race. The distance is longer than from New York to LA. The race usually takes place in New York City in the heat of the summer on a concrete sidewalk in a loop. The athletes run from 6 o'clock in the morning till midnight. That's the loop, by the way. And they run 18 hours a day with hardly any breaks. They grind this small hard loop for 100 times a day for an incredible 52 days in a row. Sounds a little like our own daily grind to me, don't you think? But there is more. None of the contestants are paid or are actually professional runners, even though they are among the most elite ultra athletes alive. The real shot in the arm? This race isn't even really about running. It's a pilgrimage to transcend yourself into a better human being. And ultimately, it is about peace. Your peace. So, is this event a little more than just plain running? You bet it is. In fact, it is a portal for change. And the question that kept, boggling my mind till today is this: how on earth is such a performance at all humanly possible? Science has proven that meditation can have a huge positive impact on our organisms. It can boost racing performance, it can improve resilience, and it can lower pain perception by just tweaking the brain's neuroplasticity. But still, how can any human being run 2 marathons a day with hardly any breaks, a staggering 118 marathons for 52 days in a row? It certainly remains a subject for further investigation. I was so boggled by these scary dimensions that I conducted a field research during the filming of the 2020 race, where I found 3 common and very, very unusual denominators in all the athletes alike, besides the usual training gear and nutrition. One, the love of God. Or whatever the word God means to you personally. Two, the ability to surrender to a higher force when things get tough. And things will get tough. And three, the strength to find meaning behind suffering. Now, does meditation have to include God or a metaphysical dimension? Great question, huh? Isn't it? Some say yes, others say no. It's entirely up to you. These athletes are much like you and me, faced every day with tremendous suffering. What they do differently is they choose meditation, they choose running as their meditation, much like you and me could choose our life as our meditation. How? They embrace whatever is in front of them by one step at a time while running through the hot and cold from morning till midnight, shredded by the merciless weather, plagued by blistered bloody feet and open wounds and the sweat burning. Now, dear most esteemed audience, let me ask you, how about you? How do you deal with your everyday struggles? How do you deal with it when you are shredded by your pains and shames and fears? Do you let life's pressure destroy you? Or do you let it transform you into a diamond? After filming this documentary, all I know today is this. If we are serious about peace in our lives, and we have a little bit of meditation in our pocket, pain, as the Dalai Lama so eloquently put it, might still remain inevitable, but suffering can become more of a choice. You see, each time I witnessed the athletes during the race, despite their excruciating pain, struggle and exhaustion, what struck me most was these athletes, they constantly remained calm and fun and lighthearted. And you know, they could have simply given up and walked away on any one of these 52 days, but they didn't give up. They gave in because they put into action a simple secret that can help us to battle the same inner conflicts we all face every day of our lives. Be still. Embrace your pain and run with it. For it truly is a golden portal into peace. And what would your life feel like if you could do that?